It's fairly difficult to nail down exactly what makes a particular program impactful, especially in the CDL. It's been more difficult to articulate it in such a way that makes it seem unbiased or objective. However, debate is definitely impactful in and of itself. To quote University of Kansas coach Scott Harris's This Ballot, something I've been doing a lot lately, I didn't mean to make debate the rest of my life. It somehow just happened. What debate does seems to be obvious, but isn't always so to outside observers. One might speak of the communication skills one gains, the research skills one gains to debate. There are so many more things to speak of and bring into the discussion, the debate, if you will, that it's hard to focus on just a few things that make a particular program impactful. However, it can be done. My name is Anthony Adams, and the Perspectives Johnson debate team has been just that, the most impactful team in Chicago. As with Scott, debate was supposed to be just a hobby, something I did because I enjoyed to argue. I never meant to become the single most changing activity a scrawny kid with a 2.2 GPA had ever done. Debate opened so many doors for debaters here at Joslin. As a tiny school that accepts students from all over the city, we have very little in common. Even as a team, we come from various backgrounds, and those backgrounds could have been barriers to our effective communication. Enter the debate team 3 years ago, a small venture in its infancy. Our coach was our English teacher, who was learning just as much as we were. There were some like me who just couldn't handle it and took a break. The community hadn't been built yet. We had no commonalities to build an identity on. And after 4 years at the same school, I put off debate for no other reason than I don't like this guy because he's nothing like me. But as we started competing, the school gained an identity. Our small school, only known for NBA power forward Anthony Davis, began to realize we're more than that. We're one of the main symbols of what Perspectives charter schools could have been capable of. We began to see ourselves as a family and as competitors. We weren't just Anthony Davis's schooling. We provided that spark for 400 kids that felt slighted by the media, who focused so much on Davis's great exploits that our school itself seemed to be something to be overcome, a small caricature of what Anthony Davis had overcome. Because that's what they saw us as. Joslin debaters as a team helped us to overcome that stigma of being a hurdle, and we haven't looked back since. Through debate, we gained an identity and the confidence to prove that we weren't to be overlooked. Beyond ourselves, we impact those we debate. Rather, we debate in hopes of doing so. The entire team is encouraged to build cases that debaters would learn from or to advocate what you would like to advocate. Joslin cases have tackled a bloated military budget, postulated a merger between the United States and Mexico, and tackled identity problems in the debate community itself. While cases critiquing the way the world itself works is fairly common in the CEO, Joslin sets itself apart by the let's do this attitude that's embodied by the way we build those affirmatives. Advocacy comes first, second, and last with this team. Regardless of win-loss records, we impact the entire room when we argue that we should evaluate our relation to debate. We impact every single debater when we mention that we still have a ways to go. We impact the community by finding its flaws and engaging in legitimate discussion on how to fix those flaws. Maybe that doesn't always translate into elimination round wins and tournament runs. To us, it doesn't have to. I wish I could say this was always the case. Before I would blame any loss that I had on any judges not understanding arguments, not bothering to admit my own faults. That didn't get me far, and I consider my first 2 tournaments of last year to be failures. However, I grew. Coming into this year, I was happy just to be debating, knowing my high school career was coming to an end. After the NDT finals in 2013, I busied myself with a project on debate itself, trying to uncover what makes debate so great. That was the beginnings of this affirmative, the case Johnson ran at Tournament 6, arguing that debate should be as inclusive as possible, being a home to so many people. At Tournament 6 this year, I was happy if I could get listeners to judge whether or not they were improving the community. It's not just the stylistic differences that determine who we effective debaters here at Joslin. It's what we decide to argue, regardless of competitive viability. That's not to say we don't win. I've been in 8 elimination rounds and 12 tournaments and 10 possible elimination brackets. That said, I haven't seen a single plaque since the day I won them because I simply don't care. I judge my ability as a debater based on the level of discourse and my moral actions in relation to the world around me during the round, not by wins and losses. I have the Joslin program to thank for that. Thanks to Johnson's debate team, a lazy, arrogant kid with no real direction can drag a terrible GPA to above a 3.0, become a true leader in his school, and be recognized for it by the CEL as both the winner of the Richard M. Daley Leadership Award and a runner-up for the National Association of Urban Debate League's Debater of the Year Award. That kid is going to Monmouth College to start a new policy debate program. And though I'm just one student, there have been and will be countless more like me here at Joslin. Those students go on and use that advocacy, that hopefulness, that optimism out in the real world, though I use that term lightly. To us, debate is the real world. We use debate to make the world better, and that's the ultimate impact. And around I say this is the sole impact that outweighs anything else said. We embody the let's make change attitude of debate, and that makes us more powerful, more influential, and more impactful than any other team in the city.